Well, folks, welcome back to some more Age of Wonders 3. Very, very excited about this game. Thanks for joining me. This is your host, ID Jester. We're looking at Lady Anna the Golden. She's a High Elf Sorcerer, and our power is starting. So this is going to be just an introductory to how to play the game, what it's like. And for those of you who don't know much about Age of Wonders, it's been over 10 years since they've released this game. That's probably another reason why I'm very, very excited about this game. It's been such a long, long time. I played the original one a few times, and then played the second one a few more times. And back in the day, it was like the best of the kind of genre that spawned a few of the games in that series. And it was really interesting. And now that they've finally updated it with the new graphics and the new engine and everything, it's going to be just wonderful. And the best thing about this, and it's always been the best thing about this, is they give you the choices to decide what you want to do, how you want to do things, how you want to create things, how you want to play the game. It's up to you to decide. And that's one of the best things about the game. So we're going to start our look at Lady Anna the Golden here, and you'll get this little screen here, and based upon your settings that you choose in the beginning, if you watched last episode, we talked about many different things, but one of the things we talked about was that we decided we were just going to start with the village here, and you can see our little border here around our village. This is basically like our area of influence, and anything inside these boundaries is within our location will give us bonuses. So if we click on this here, we have a gold mine which has been explored, and it gives us 10 gold. We are in Arctic area and Barrens, and it tells you the movement costs. It costs 4 to move into that location. If you just hover your mouse over any of the other hexes, you will see we are in Arctic Fertile Plains. Arctic Fertile Plains. Here is a mana node, which is going to give us 10 mana. So let's talk about our different resources. You can see up here at the top in the middle, we have 300 gold. We're gaining 38 gold every turn. We have 50 mana. We're gaining 20 mana every turn. We have 23 knowledge points. Knowledge points is researching into your different spells. We're going to show you that here in just a few minutes. And this is our casting points. Learn how to speak. Casting points. And the best thing about this is if you're not sure of anything, you just hover over and it shows you everything you need to know. So right now we have a base income of 40. Our city is giving us a plus 30. And our upkeep is 30 minus 32 for our grand total of plus 38. Same thing with our mana. Our research points. Our city's giving us 3, our base is 20 casting points. You will notice that we are gaining an extra 5 mana. So basically we can cast 25 spell points worth of powers each turn, and we'll talk more specific about these here in a little bit. Over here on the right hand side of your map, you're going to get all your little tool tips that tells you all the important events that happen. You're also going to see your mini map. Now remember, we were on a medium-sized map, and I was telling you earlier, oh, medium-sized, you think that's, kind of smallish, but let's zoom out and show you. This is a medium-sized map. You can see it is freaking humongous, and this is medium. So you can only imagine what the large, huge, and extra large is going to be like. Oh my gosh. Plus, don't forget, we also have underground. So basically, take this map and multiply it by 2. So you can see that this, even a medium-sized maps, are very nice. As I mentioned, this is our sphere of influence and our borders of our territory. And anything inside this area that's been explored will give us research, or will give us bonuses towards our different things. We got gold mine, we got a mana node. You notice this one here is a water node. It's unexplored, and its income is worth 15 mana crystals. But you notice it's also got an army here that is protecting it, and it's independent army. So this is one of the creatures on the map. We also have some people on our thing. We're going to get to in just a second here. So let's look at our tooltips here. So first one here, defeat all rivals. So we have no turn limits. Victory requirements are defeat all enemy rivals. So how do you win and lose the game? Well, to lose the game, you have to lose your main hero. So our main hero here, Lady Anna, the Golden, must die, and our capital city must be captured so she cannot respawn. She will go, basically, if she dies, she will go in the void for 3 turns and then come back to the map. If during the time that she's in the void, your capital has been captured, you lose the game. And that's basically how you defeat all the other rivals, is to defeat their main hero and capture their capital city at the same time. Allied victories, we do have allies on, so if we get other allies, 2 of us could win the game, or possibly 3 of us. And then this basically tells you what I just explained. If your leader falls, they will return after 3 turns in your throne city. If you lose both your leader and your throne, you will lose the scenario. And we also have a hero is offered to join us. So we will click on this. And from time to time you will get a random hero that might want to join you. In this case we have Ida, the monster mender. He's a level 1 sorcerer, wants to join your forces for 100 gold pieces. So I wonder, can we click on him to get some more information? Yes, we can. So if we just click on him, his little portrait down here, not up here, but this little portrait, you'll get all the information about Ida the Monster Mender. 50 hit points, movement of 36, a defense of 9. Basically your defense is your resistance to somebody smashing you in the face with a hammer, or shooting an arrow at you, or doing something with like a physical attack. Your resistance determines how well the unit resists non-physical damage. So this will be like spells, or poison, or fire, or anything like that. And you can see all of your different abilities here, and your different skills. So we have a melee strike, which does 12 damage. We can also cast a spell. We have 20 spell points we can cast spells with. We have shock bolts, which will shoot out a little lightning bolt, and it can trigger up to 3 times. It's an arcing shot, which we'll talk about when we get into tactical combat. This unit walks, so it doesn't fly or hover or anything, so it has to actually use the land to walk. It's a cavalry unit. So it's highly mobile. It can also charge, which does an extra 6 melee damage there. You notice the little star next to the 6 here is also the same thing as a melee strike. I believe that is like your default. It's a hero. It's fast healing, so it regenerates 6 extra health per turn. It's mounted. It's draconian. It's a Chandler, which gives it an extra 5 spell power. It has 20% fire protection because of Draconian, and it has a frost weakness because it's Draconian. It's only level 1, and his morale is... he likes Barons. So Draconians likes Barons and Lava Pool, and it dislikes the Arctic and hates Blighted. So his morale will be based upon the area it's in and different things that happen in the game. Normally I would just pick this guy up, but to tell you the truth, he's not going to be a happy camper. We would have to get him out of the Arctic area. I don't know how much. It's kind of random, so it might be 5 turns before we get another offer. It might be 10 turns. It could be a whole bunch of turns. So we'll just go ahead and accept it. It's our first game, so if we make some mistakes, you can zoom in and out with your mouse scroll, or you can use the different keys on the keyboard. I believe it's the minus and plus key on the keyboard is the default. You see we have some other things going on here. We have an army that's owned by us, and that's the guy we just picked up, Ida the Monster Mender. We also have, let's see here. I want to click on this guy. There we go. We also have a High Elf Unicorn Rider, which is an army leader. He's the army leader right now because the unit all the way on the left-hand side. Here's basically your different slots. You have 6 slots you can put units in. And since he's the one all the way to the left, he'll be the army leader. You get all the stats on him. If we wanted to join him up with another unit, we're just going to click on him and then right-click, and he'll move into that army. And our hero is the leader, so that he will no longer be an army leader. He's just back to being a regular. He's a tier 2 unit. So let's talk about units really quickly. So there are heroes. There is leader. I believe that's what the guy we just bought was. Our main lady is also called a leader, but she's our main hero. And then, of course, she's got a bunch of units stacked with her. And, of course, they're all elves because why? Well, we chose the elf race. You can see our morale. It's not really great. It's not bad. But the higher morale, what's important about morale? Well, good question. The morale affects your troops getting a chance to do critical strikes. So if you got a higher morale, you're going to have a higher chance for critical strikes and good things happening. If you have a low morale, you can fumble and bad things can happen. And also, if morale of your people in your city, if it's really high, then your people will sometimes overproduce, or get things done earlier, your production. And we're going to look at production here in just a few minutes. But if we click on our leader, Lady Anna, let's see what she's got here. Oops, double click. One click, sorry. Good thing is that our ladies here, our heroes, you can get different equipment. Oh my god, I love this. You can get equipment for them to give them different things. You can find these equipment. You can actually build it. You can see she's got a little lightning one. So she's got 50 hit points, 36 movement, 9 and 11. Pretty standard sorcerer stuff. Melee strike of 12. She can cast spells. She's got 25 spell points. She's got the shocking bolts. She walks. She's a high elf. Let's see what this gives us. Anything? Love music, lore, dance, solitary beings, preferring to seek their pleasure far away from prying eyes. Okay. Forestry. The unit cost for traversing dense vegetation is reduced by 2. So again, back to what we talked about last episode, in how you decide what your world looks like and what race you choose could have a big bearing. If we have an elf unit and we have very high dense vegetation in our world, we will be able to get around a lot more than some of the other races. So that could either help or hinder you. Chandler, so I get an extra 5. I'm a leader. Mind control, immunity, so other units can't try to take control of them. Fast healing, mounted cavalry, charge, and I have a blight weakness. Ooh, that's not good. So blight is just kind of think of it as like a fire attack, a lightning attack. There's also like blight, which is kind of like a evil, yucky stuff, I guess. That's real technical. There's our inventory. We also can upgrade when we get enough points. There'll be things we can upgrade, which we're going to look at here in a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is zoom out just slightly here and take a look at what our surroundings. Unfortunately, we're in this Arctic. Let's see how we feel. How do we feel about the Arctic? Actually, I think if we click on one of these guys, it'll tell us what his morale is here. So we got normal happiness. He likes elves in general, like dense vegetation, and they dislike tropics and subterranean, and they hate blighted and volcanic. So we have tropical, subterranean, which we don't like, and we also hate the blighted and volcanic. So those areas obviously would make our troops very unsettling. And the other thing is, look at this. Attention to detail. Game manufacturers out there, hello, pay attention. You can see they have this nice little bit of lore about the different units we're looking at here. You can actually rotate, take a look at what these guys look like at different angles. Awesome unicorn riders, you gotta love them. And of course all the information about them as well. Excellent. All right, so we have got to. Yeah, let's go back to our city here. Click on our lady here. Here's our city. You will see our city is Manthras. I don't like that. We're going to rename it. We're going to call it the Golden Arch because of Lady Anna the Golden. So Golden Arch, throne of Lady Anna. You can see it's got the little symbol here that shows it's our throne. So if Lady Anna dies and this city is taken over, we will lose. It's a high elf village. It tells you your population, which is 3,500, and it's going to take 9 more turns before it'll grow to the next size. When it grows, our boundary or border will actually expand by 1 hex out, and you can see that if it does that, then this little node here would be inside our boundaries, and we would get the bonuses to add to our wonderful civilization. So we're hopefully going to clear this out, so when our borders expand, we can get access to an extra, what was this, 15 mana. And it's a water node, which is basically our specialization, and I believe that's why normally they're 10. If we look at this one, it's normally a 10. And since it's part of our specialization, I believe that we get an extra income because we are specialized in water. Right. So in our city here, you can see that we can build units. There's a unit tab. There are structures that we can build. There are options we can do, raise and plunder cities. Obviously, we won't want to do that. And then there are other information about the city. It's a throne city. It tells you a race. It's got wooden walls, a barracks, and a sorcerer conflux. So the first thing we have to do is decide what we're going to build. And normally there's lots of different things. We can just build housing. We build housing. The turns will be less to our border expansion, which would be good. Mercantile, which will give us extra money. A laboratory, which will let us generate an extra research and also opens up a couple more buildings. The arena, which will give us an extra rank on each of our units. That's another thing we didn't talk about when we talked about units. Each unit comes in different ranks. We can also produce a builder's hall, which will give us extra hammers in our production. Now, yes, so let's look. Here is our city. Income 30, 10 mana, 3 research, 30 production, and 300 people per turn. That's what our city does for us, just by being, a village. It's not a city, it's a village. I shouldn't say that because that'll throw people off. Storehouse will give us extra people per turn and also leads to the public baths. War Hall, which will produce pikemen and cavalry units and open up some units and also some extra buildings. The shooting grounds will open up some extra rank for archers, and the shrine, which will produce extra mana and unlock some support units, which are the temple, and it also generate mana and also lead us to the high elf Storm Sisters. So units, I'm not sure if I'd even talked about this because there's so much to talk about. One of the things is each unit, there are 4 different basically tiers of units. If we click on this unit again, you will see that this unit here, the High Elf Unicorn Riders, is a tier 2 unit. If we click back on our lady here, you will see we have a tier 1 unit, a tier 1 unit, a tier 1 unit, and a tier 1 unit, plus our hero, which is just a level 1 unit. So what we need to do is basically build all these different buildings and such, so we can unlock our higher level tier 2 and tier 3 and tier 4 units. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to build the Builder's Hall, because the Builder's Hall will allow us extra production, so to build things faster for us. Of course, it's going to take us 4 turns to build that. So that's what our city will do. And of course, you can queue things up from right to left. So if I decide after the Builder's Hall, we're going to produce a High Elf Longbowman. And you see each one of our units cost a certain amount of upkeep. So this will be a 8 gold. These are 4 gold each. Right now I'm just going to let it build that, and we're going to see, because we're going to have a few turns to expand out and see what else we need. So the first thing we'll do here is click on our new Ida the Monster Mender. And we've got the Unicorn Rider in there. So we're going to just expand out a little bit and see what we can find. So we're going to right click and move them down and see what we have here. So we have a refugee camp, and it's a group of people that is seeking a home. So if we go into that location, we should get some extra people to come to our city, and in fact we did. We have 1,092 new High Elf citizens for our city. Now that looks like it's all blocked that way. We can't go that way, so we're going to have to turn around, and we'll be out of movement points for this character. We'll be done. So now back to our main Lady Anna. So we could either start exploring around a little bit more, or we can come out and take care of this monster here. What I think I'm going to do, we are located right in the middle of the east side of the map. So we definitely want to try to secure this location over here-ish. Let's see, if we just peek over this way and uncover, aha! So we've got a few things here. We've got produces resources, adds a free city upgrade to the closest city. So we can go pick up that. We also have some gold laying around. So let's go pick up the build stuff. Shooting grounds. Build of the city. Golden Arch. Archer units produces city. Gain an additional rank. Shooting grounds. Build of the city of Golden Arch. So let's click on our city here now and take a look at our... Yep, we now have the shooting grounds, which is awesome. So we basically built that just by having these... getting this resource. So definitely being able to expand out and get all these little by the way, I love this view. Wow, that's just amazing. So just by getting this little area, this little thing, we were able to get that built. So we've moved all of our units. Right now our capital is completely undefended. If we click out our capital, there's no units in there whatsoever. So if an enemy unit came walking in there, they could take over our throne city, and we wouldn't be out of the game, but we would have a very difficult time. So you probably don't want to leave your throne city too undefended. Now, before we move on to actual combat here, one more thing we need to talk about is research. So we're going to click on our research panel up here. And this shows us all of our spellcasters and what the abilities they can learn. So you will notice in each one of these circular areas has a background. So we have this little stone pillar. These are basically city upgrades. You have these like the blue starburst. Those are going to be strategic map spells. And then you have these little red pentagram with the swords in there. These are going to be combat spells. So you can look at how much it's going to cost in research and how many turns it's going to take. So we have Vengeful Frost, which deals 15 cold damage to a target unit. It tells you how much manning costs it takes. And casting points. Remember, casting points is important because right now we can only cast 25 per turn. We can terraform the land. In this case, enables the terraforming of terrain into wetlands, fertile plains, dense vegetation, and barrens. Transformation of terrain into wetlands, fertile plains, dense vegetation, and barrens. Interesting. Starblades. Target friendly unit inflicts shock and +1 lightning strength until the end of combat. Melee and ranged attacks from this unit also inflict a shock, cause the target to be shocked. Terraform, we already looked at that one. A Sorcery 1 upgrade, you'll notice this is an important one because it increases your spell casting points, allowing you to cast more spells per turn. Basically, each level that you go up in this, you get 10 extra points, so we would go from 25 to 35. So that's important because say we wanted to cast a spell this costs 7 mana. So we'd only be able to, first time we cast it would be 7, the second time it would be 14, third time would be 21, and we wouldn't be able to cast it another time. Dread Omen conjures a dreadful omen from the sky above, striking fear in the hearts of population. Target enemy city suffers growth penalties. Summon a Wisp. Yes, we have to do this one. This is basically a unit we can summon that will help us scout out, and they're really good. So we're going to summon our Wisp, and you can see we've done everything that we need to do. We looked at our different locations, our different areas. Our alignment right now is neutral. Our people are, yeah, they're okay. They're not too bad. It shows us our hero here. This will allow us to cast a spell if we wanted to cast a spell. Right now we choose not to, sure. And then we can just click this button to end our turn, because you can see it says click here to end your turn. We're going to do that, and we're going to come back in the next episode, and we're going to come and do some combat here. I'm going to show you how combat operates, and that's probably going to be a video in itself, because combat is kind of in depth. Hopefully this guy we can take this guy out. Yeah, that's what we're going to do in the next episode. So hopefully you're enjoying Age of Wonders 3. Wonderful. Absolutely great game. Decisions, consequences, being able to do whatever you want, however you want, set it up. Lots and lots of things that God, I love this. Awesome. We'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for watching.